Central Earth Day. Make some noise. Make some noise. You are now getting ready to experience what we call dream, create, and go. But I can't do that unless I have your participation. And we have to keep in mind, we actually have people online watching us right now on Toshiba Innovate on their Facebook page. We are streaming. So all of you watching us online, we love you. Thank you for watching us. My name is Mario Armstrong. The show is called Dream, Create, Go. It's all about tying technology to your passions and helping you understand how you can be a part of the big movement. Before I get started, I need to hear from the audience here, and you can do it at home too if you're watching or in the classroom watching. But I need you to tell me, I need to hear how loud you can make Grand Central Station sound. I need you to say dream, create, go. We have prizes, we have giveaways, we have some good, awesome stuff that we're gonna be sharing with you guys, but you have to participate. So on the count of three, I want you to say it with me. Dream, create, go. You ready? On the count of three, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Dream, create, go. No, that's not loud enough. Come on, that's not loud enough. I have to hear you. Grand Central Station has to say what is going on over there. Ready? On the count of three, as loud as you can. Dream, create, go, like you mean it. On three. 1, 2, 3. Dream, create, go. All right, now with that being said, let me see if I can get the loudest section here. This section is dream, the middle is create, and the back is go. The middle is create, back is go, this section is dream. We're gonna try this one more time and see who's the loudest. You might just get something for being the loudest section. Dream in the front, create in the middle, go in the back. Here we go. I'm gonna point on the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's dream. Let me hear create. Okay, and in the back? Wow. Yes, that was insane. That was great. All right, so you get some iTunes gift cards for you, and you get a really cool LED Toshiba light bulb. No, it's not just any light bulb. Are you kidding me? This light bulb will outlast him. Okay? It's not just any light bulb. It's a Toshiba light bulb. And it's a sustainable light bulb. We have several of them in the house. They're great. So welcome to the program. We have a lot of interesting things that we're going to be showing you today, all about people that had visions, all about creating, developing, and what their story is, and how you can relate to their story so that you can think about how technology ties to your passion. We'll talk about not only really cool projects that you'll see on the screen and the people behind those projects, but we'll also give you some ideas as to how you can tie technology to things that you're really interested in, but then also give you some suggestions on how you can move your ideas forward so that you're not only dreaming about these things, but then you go and create the things you dream about, but then you actually go and do something with that creation. So we're gonna touch on all of those areas today. For those of you that don't know me, just a real quick 10 seconds about me. I'm a STEM advocate, science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm a digital lifestyle expert on television and radio. So I appear regularly on the Today Show, CNN, HLN, I have a radio show on Sirius XM, and I contribute to NPR's Morning Edition and Tell Me More programs. My job in life is to try to educate the masses in a fun, entertaining, but educational way as to how technology is impacting our lives. So I live and breathe this stuff, but at the heart of it, I'm a teacher. I want to educate, and I want to inspire. So with this particular program, it's more about getting you to understand what you're passionate about. Who knows this theme song? Of course, right? Yes. Super Mario. Yes. Super. No, this is cool. What I need to know is who knows what their passion is? Show of hands. Do you know what your passion is? Show of hands. None of you know what your passion is? What are you passionate about? What's your name and what are you passionate about?
I'm Jaleese and I'm passionate about dancing.
Passionate about dancing. Who else knows what their passion is? Anybody else have a passion? Yes, sir. What's your passion?
Sam Millhaven and I'm passionate about inventing.
You're passionate about inventing. He's passionate about inventing. Do we have other passions? Anybody else? We have, in the back. Yes, ma'am. What's your passion?
Passionate about weaving.
Passion is about weaving. We have a weaver in the house. We have a passionate weaver. The important thing to realize is no matter what your passion is, My job today is to help you understand that technology is critical to your passion. So I don't care if it's about weaving. You might say, well, what's the technology behind weaving? Are you kidding me? I could show you nano-generating t-shirts that's all about fabric and being sewn and being weaved together. I could show you, for the inventor, his passion, obviously he's aware that technology is important. Dance. How does technology play a role in dance? Are you serious? Have you ever heard of the X and Y axis? Do you know about angles and degrees and the laws of physics and what that means to the actual bodily movements? Everything plays a role in your particular passion as it relates to technology. But it doesn't matter if you don't do these 5 things. This is what I think is the formula for success for Dream, Create, Go. The first thing is to have a very strong mindset about what you want to do in life. Clear the deck of all the negativity. So if any of you young minds are being around people that are telling you that idea is preposterous, you'll never be able to do that. That's not cool. If you're getting any of that negativity, that's going to hold you back. So you have to clear your mind and be positive. Number 2, you have to have a passion. You have to know what you care about. And once you know what you care about, then you need to visualize how you're going to do this, how you're going to follow this path, this passion of yours. After you do that, you must believe you can do it. You saw today, some of you were some of you here earlier for the high schools? Excellent. So you saw a lot of young minds that believe in what they're trying to do and believe in the impact that they can make. But not only that, they're also taking action, which is the last step. If you do these 5 steps with technology at the forefront, you will be successful. Each step is critical and each step is hard, but if you can follow through on all of them, you will be successful. So first, in the dream, I have a picture here of a gentleman named Dean Kamen. Everyone kind of knows what Dean Kamen's responsible for inventing. Yes? The Segway? You've seen this before? Show of hands for how many people have seen a Segway. Okay. Well, the Segway didn't start off like this. The Segway actually came to Dean Kamen as an idea to solve a real problem that he saw someone experiencing. He saw a person in a wheelchair not being able to climb a curb. And you say, well, how did you get from a wheelchair to the Segway? Well, before he did the Segway, he actually created something, it's very hard to see, called the iBot. The iBot was like a 4-wheel mechanical wheelchair, but it could also raise you for heights. It could go up and down steps. It was rugged enough to be able to go on the beach, so you wouldn't miss out on playing with your kids on the beach. It was also, you could vertically raise it so that you could actually play sports like basketball. It was a way for him to create a new form of wheelchair that's solving a problem of giving people that may not feel like they have the best access in life to having better access and a better quality of life. Eventually, this got to the Segway, which we all know today. The same types of technology, so to speak, is in that. What's interesting about the Segway is that as we're talking about Earth Day and tying that into this presentation, the Segway is one of those eco machines because it doesn't use fuel, so it's very clean for the environment. But what's really neat about this Segway, has anyone ever ridden on a Segway before? No? Oh, okay. The Segway is it detects in milliseconds. It detects so fast your balance by 5 sensors that are located in the base of it. They call those sensors gyroscopes. For those of you that are paying attention, pay attention to the word gyroscopes. There are 5 sensors in the base of the Segway, and it detects because it just understands where your body is and where you're moving, and it automatically moves the Segway in that direction due to your balance. So there's so many technology jobs that are involved in creating something cool like the Segway. You have everybody you have robotics engineers that are involved. You have modelers and people that have to create design and create models. You have test engineers that need to test and look for issues and problems and get around those problems and navigate it. But you also have graphic designers, people that actually have to draw this out and animate it and visualize it on a computer screen. So a lot goes into creating something like the Segway. Well, when we talk about technology and how it can improve lives, one of the things that's very common that many of you know about is a technology called Bluetooth. Everybody's familiar with Bluetooth, right? Okay, good. But most of you are familiar with Bluetooth for annoying phone calls and people walking around looking like, robots with conversations happening. Did you know that Bluetooth is being used to give people the ability to walk? For example, in this diagram that you see here, prosthetic legs. This is Marine Lance Corporal Joshua, and he has a receiver on each ankle, and the receivers are talking. The receiver and transmitter are talking to each other so that he can actually walk. I want you to take a look at. It may be hard for some of you to see, but I want you to take a look at this video.
Technology, and
basically,
only two
it's detecting his force
military
and his pressure,
with these legs. That's
and
correct.
both of these
Yeah,
devices
they're
are
the power
talking to
knees.
each other.
They're the latest and greatest, and how they work is they're actually motorized. They're mainly made for unilaterals. They have a Bluetooth receiver down at both ankles, and they were made to read off a good leg of someone that has one good leg, and they would mimic that leg's movements. With ours, they try to mimic each other. As we walk, everything's initiated by our muscle movement. I start walking, and my thigh will bring the leg up, and then it starts slowly. After 1 or 2 steps, it recognizes that it's starting to walk, and so these legs start moving on their own. And then they mimic each other, so for stride length, for amount of force coming up, going uphill, downhill, and such, they can vary speed, and then to stop them again, I will put resistance with my own thigh muscles.
So many of you may have heard some of the mathematical terms: resistance, force, pressure. All of that is basically mathematics and physics, and using this technology to be able to have individuals that can now, who used to not be able to walk ever again, get the ability to walk due to Bluetooth communication. So when we think about technology, we need to think beyond just the consumer devices and the gadgets and the things that we like to use and play with, but how can technology really change society and really improve society in a big way? For example, this is the Excella glove. What's interesting about this Excella glove is there was a group of young kids, I think they were in the Toshiba competition last year, and they came up with something that was similar too. I don't know if they knew that this was actually being done, their idea was being done in research. The idea with Jose's glove here, Jose's a researcher, and he wants to be able to give the people the ability to translate sign language into actual voice, so that you would be able to, if I was performing sign language, I was doing sign language, I would have a way for you to actually hear spoken words of what sign I'm actually giving. So it's those types of technologies that's really transformative, that's really making society a better place. And I just wanted you to see an example of how this works. He uses sensors on the glove, and these sensors generate these electrical signals that understand the database of different movements, and when that happens, it generates really quickly in the actual speech of the actual sign language that's being used at that moment. Very, very impressive. The thing moves at lightning millisecond speeds in order for that to happen so fast. Now, I need a volunteer. Volunteer, someone from the audience? Oh, yes, young man. Yes, you, right there. I'll get to you next, maybe. Yes, you, young man in the middle. You were fast. You were quick. I need a volunteer to come up to the stage. Come all the way up. All right, excellent. Oh, I've met you earlier. Okay, your name is Alexander, right?
Yes.
Tell everybody your name. Say hi, I'm Alexander.
Hi, I'm Alexander.
Everybody say hi, Alexander. Wow, you got a really good support structure here. All right, I brought you up on stage, Alexander, because I need your help with a technology project, okay? I want you to hold this device, and I want you to kind of hold this in your hand for a second, read about it, look it over, give me a sense of what you think maybe this device can do. Anything come to mind? Look at a little outlet right there. What could, say that again?
Something with phones?
Something for phones. He's absolutely right. You're smart already. You're getting it. Nothing on here says anything about a phone. What this is that you're holding is called the N power peg. And I need you to perform a demonstration with me. What this device does, Alexander and everybody, is that it actually stores your kinetic energy so that you can power your devices. So, what that means is, as I'm walking normally throughout my day, it's in my backpack or it's in my bag, it's actually generating electricity from my natural movements. It's capturing that natural energy into this device, storing it so that I can then plug in my tablet or my phone or other 3,000 or so other devices to actually get charged up. So to prove that this is, well, not prove, but to demonstrate a little bit of what's going on the inside, I'm going to take, the reason why this works is there's a magnet on the inside of this that you can't see. But when I take this button and I apply it to the magnet, there's a magnet on the inside exactly. Now what I need you to do is move it up and down, just kind of hold it and then just kind of shake it up and down. So as that magnet is moving, that's what's capturing the energy and transforming that, making that, storing that so that it can be available for devices. So that's getting kinetic energy. What do you think about that, Alex? Do you think this is a cool idea or something you would invent in a better way?
This is amazing.
It's amazing?
I wouldn't change anything.
You wouldn't change anything. And a smart inventor who knows how to appreciate other inventions. Would you like one of these?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna make that happen, all right? You're gonna get one of these end power pegs. Do you have devices that you could charge up?
Yes.
What do you have?
A phone.
A phone. And how old are you?
11.
Okay, all right. He has a phone, he got 11. All right, Alexander's gonna get your very own end power peg from Dream Create Go. And maybe what you can even do is take it apart so you can figure out how it was engineered. Does that sound cool?
Yeah.
All right, give Alexander a round of applause. I gotta keep this one here, but don't leave before you see me, okay? If you leave before you see me, come over to the corner and see Nicole and we'll get this arranged to get to you, okay? All righty. Thank you, Alexander, appreciate it. So now, I'd like to take a second to go into our create portion of the program. Some of you know this song, right? So we go from dreaming first. What is the vision? We saw several different visions. We saw the Segway, we saw the Excella Glove, we saw the end power peg. Now we go from the actual dreaming to now creating. Let's actually go and make some stuff around our passion. So we found out today that there's a couple of people that are interested in fashion and dance. Is anyone interested in have a passion for music? Yeah? Okay, let me find out. All right, cool. What's your passion? What are you passionate about in music? Like, do you have a favorite band or what?
I really like singing, just a bunch of people. I don't really have a favorite singer, but I just love everyone who sings.
Do you sing?
Yes, I sing a little.
Oh, let's see this. Let's stand up. Let's get this going. A round of applause. Let's go. Okay, come on up to the stage real quick here. What's your name?
Tim Van Bloom.
Tim. Okay, Tim. You're on stage, you're on the internet, but no pressure, and there's 150 people here. But don't worry about that. I want you to blow your heart out and sing a few words.
Okay. There's a fire starting in my heart, reaching a fever pitch that's bringing me at the dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead and tell me how did I lay your sheep bare.
What is going on at Earth Day right now? Okay, don't go anywhere. I do not need to stay here and do this anymore. I'm going to turn over the rest of today's program to this young man. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So you're passionate about that in a big way. I know you're also into technology, so maybe you can help me, because one of the things that I'm trying to convince people to understand is no matter what their passion is, technology plays a role in that. So think out of the box for a second and tell me how you feel maybe music and sound has some connection to technology.
Well, I know today when there were the presentations, there's a lot of things. There was a voice-activated binder, and there's microphones, and all of that involves technology. So music can't really live without technology, because if you go to performances nowadays, there's big speakers and microphones, and otherwise only a couple people could hear what the person was singing.
So someone that's into music, they may want to make music or create it. They're going to need what to do that? They're going to need some software too, right, to do that as well. And ultimately, they have to understand the science of sound. So they could be a sound engineer. And because also, isn't music and sound important, say, in video games and in movies and other things as well?
Yeah, I know in a bunch of video games, it wouldn't really be half the same if there wasn't any sounds to animate the effects.
Give him a round of applause. I have to give you a prize, man. That was amazing. I have something else for you, but wait till after. All right, congratulations. That was awesome. All right, so another passion. Fashion, music, we heard about that. Well, what's interesting, is if you're into fashion, let's just say, how many people here love to like really figure out what am I wearing today and how do I look? Okay. All right, so there's technology called computer-aided design, or otherwise known as CAD. And it's software that enables you to be able to understand exactly how materials may work, materials may fit, materials may look on a particular body. But it's getting so advanced now that if you think your passion is clothing or fashion, you really need to take it a step further because there's so many things happening in technology. For example, this is a virtual dressing room. It may be hard to see this graphic, but I'll explain it to you. Basically, there's a woman standing in an open space with 3 different mirrors surrounding her. And she's in an open space in a clothing store. She's going through a virtual library of clothing. She's looking through the inventory on the right, says, oh, I like that pink or that red blouse right there. Let me touch that one. And then she's like, okay, let me try those shoes and let me try those pants. And it's actually taking a picture of her so that you can actually see what those clothes look like on you without putting on the clothes. Now, I don't know about you, but as an adult, I would love to be able to go into a dressing room, touch the screen, see if it looks good on me, and then walk out of the store and buy my goods. But it goes a step further. You can actually send the photo to your friends and get the thumbs up or the thumbs down right away from them as to whether or not this is the outfit that you should get for the evening or for the event or for hanging out. So when you think about fashion, we're not only talking about like devices that make fashion easier, but we're also talking about interesting things like nanotechnology that's in t-shirts. There's a shirt that I will show you a little bit later. It's a smart shirt that actually generates electricity as you're walking. It has nano sensors inside of the actual fabric. You cannot see them with the naked eye, but they're in the actual fabric. And that means you can do so many things. You're seeing shirts now with lighting effects. You're seeing shirts that can also read your heart rate and other shirts that can keep you warm versus keeping you cold. Very interesting what's happening in materials and technology as it relates to fashion. I wanted to show you another little interesting thing that's happening in technology too when we talk about being in the create section. This is Dr. Doswell. Dr. Doswell is creating something that's really, really neat, and it's something that I think a lot of young minds out there should start thinking about because this is your future. It's called augmented reality. Does anyone know what augmented reality means? Oh, you know what it means? Okay, let's find out. What's your name?
Connor.
Connor, what's augmented reality mean?
Well, I know augment made bigger, so I guess you could see closer or see things in a bigger picture or something.
Very, very on target. You see things in a bigger picture. Anyone else want to add to that? Augmented reality? Yes, ma'am. What do you got?
It's a virtual reality.
It's virtual reality. That's it. That's it. Anyone else want to take a stab at it? Anyone else?
Basically, normally it pops out at you, so something pops out of an everyday thing. So if something will pop out of the floor normally on a screen or computer screen.
So he's absolutely right. So this is taking what augmented reality is the ability to take a physical object or real world object, something that you can tangibly touch, but then to layer on top of that physical object digital information. So a really easy example is, how many people here are football fans? Anybody football fans? Okay. How many of you have seen the first down marker? What color is it? It's yellow. Is the first down marker actually on the field? No. That's augmented reality. That is digital information being applied to a real physical field, so it almost looks as if it's actually in the real space. So augmented reality in this case with Dr. Doswell is he'll be able to have surgeons, in one example, be able to be hands-free, be able to do procedures, but have information coming to him that he can overlay on top of the actual patient. So while he's looking at what he's operating or she's operating on, they could get other information specific to that procedure that's showing up. You maybe could see precise movements or precise incisions, whatever it could be. The fact that you could augment and blend reality virtually is what augmented reality is all about. And it's a very, very big area that you should be looking into. Now, another person I wanted to show you really quick here is Bob Thurman. Bob is an interesting guy because Bob has a passion for sports. So when he started to create, he actually has a passion for golfing. And he was a pretty good golfer, but he couldn't make it to the pros. That was his goal. But along the way, he was also an engineer. So at a certain point in time, he decided to bring his engineering background into his love and passion for golf. And now he has patents under his name for creating some of the best golf balls, the most aerodynamic golf balls that are out there. He's using his engineering intelligence and problem solving to now enhance something that is happening in a sport that he loves and enjoys. So when you think about what my passion is and how do I create for my passion, understand that technology always finds a way to integrate into that. Another quick example of that would also be Jerome Solomon. Now, Jerome is, anybody here fans of Transformers? Transformer fans? All right, what's your favorite Transformer? Yes, the red one. Okay, what about Bumblebee fans? Any Bumblebee fans? Optimus Prime fans? What are you guys, Megatron fans? Okay, so Jerome Solomon and his team was responsible for creating Bumblebee. And Jerome works for LucasArts. Now here's a guy that had a dream about wanting to be the best game designer, graphic designer, animator ever, and followed his dream, connected to people along the path, always knew where he wanted to go and starts creating. So he's a phenomenal role model for you guys to look up. Look up Jerome Solomon. Look him up and understand his story. I think it'll inspire many of you in the audience. Now, Reiko Fukushima, she's an incredible and an important role model that I think a lot of you can relate to. Because how many of you have ever experienced 3D television? Okay, anybody here own a 3D TV? Okay, only a couple hands. All right. Is the reason being because you really probably don't like the glasses? Let me ask a different question. If you were to be able to watch 3D television without glasses, would you then be interested maybe a little bit more in getting a 3D TV? Absolutely, right. This is the woman that's doing that. She's working on that right now. In fact, I saw some of this type of technology in different shapes and sizes at CES. But she's the researcher that is leading the charge on Toshiba's movement into being the first to have glassless 3D television, which is really, really amazing. Because I think once glassless 3D takes off, I think more people will probably get into 3D TV. And then, of course, one other role model for you is Lonnie Johnson. Now, Lonnie Johnson has a really unique story. Has anyone ever heard of the name Lonnie Johnson, Dr. Johnson? What? No? Okay, let me ask you this. How many of you, even you at home watching us on Facebook, how many of you have ever played with a water gun, specifically a super soaker? Who wants one right now? I have one in the back. Who wants a super soaker? So everybody's played with a super soaker. Dr. Lonnie Johnson created the super soaker. You guys have to know who Dr. Lonnie Johnson is. He created the super soaker. Not only that, he created it though, because he was an aerospace engineer. So he used to work for NASA. He was an aerospace engineer. He worked on Hubble and a couple of other things. Escapes my mind on some of the other projects that he worked on. But he was at NASA, and he was an aerospace engineer. He's in his bathroom, and he was messing around with like Freon and a couple of other things, and he was tinkering as engineers do and researchers do. And next thing you know, his bathroom door is open. This stream of water comes shooting out of this device that he was putting together for a whole different reason, and it's a straight, fine stream that goes several feet. And he's like, what just happened? He did it again, and he's like, wait a minute. This could be the world's greatest water super soaker water gun ever made. So he goes, he starts making it. What people don't know about his story is he almost goes bankrupt trying to fulfill this dream, trying to go after this passion, and he becomes incredibly successful. But what's so important about what he did is he owns the patents to the design. So any other variation of that design, he gets a part of that royalty, obviously, from. Now he's using that money and his mind to move on to other things, and he's now big into doing things in solar and into other alternative energy solutions. But it all started from his aerospace engineer background. Yeah, he doesn't work at NASA anymore. Doesn't have to. All right, and these two young ladies, I wanted you to meet Emily and Helena. Emily and Helena have figured out, they're from Jersey, they figured out their passion. They wanted to dream. They saw a bunch of people, this is going back about 5, maybe 6 years. They saw people carrying technology. devices, phones, computers, and laptops. And they thought that this was not, it wasn't cool. It was only a black bag that you would get from the manufacturers. And you wouldn't get any really cool bags from the manufacturers. So they decided to create their own company that blended two passions. One was a fashion designer, the other one was an engineer. The two of them come together and they create a company called Kasuri, which created bags, and still does, for digital devices. They grew their business so phenomenally well that they're not only out of New Jersey, but now they have stores in Japan and across overseas that now carry their particular bag. So phenomenal entrepreneurial story of taking, again, fashion and engineering and bringing it together. So never think that your idea is a foolish one or a silly one. Move on it, dream about it, create, and then go take some action on it. Now, I'm hoping that some of you can actually see a little bit of this video. If not, I want you to just get up and come.
Hi, I'm Judy Lee. And
This
I'm a
is,
mechanical
can we
engineer
turn up the
and
volume really
industrial
loud on
designer.
this? Is
I
that
work
possible?
here at IDEO as a product designer. So let me show you around. The greatest thing about
All right, I'm
being
going
an
to restart
engineer
it.
is that
Keep that
you're
volume
not
up. That's
limited-
great. I'm going to restart it because I want you to see this. It's only about 1.5 minutes, but this is a really cool video. And if you pay attention, I might just hook you up with something at the end of it. So pay attention. Take a look. And if you can't see it, just come up to the front. I really want to make sure that all of you get a chance to see this.
Hi, I'm Judy Lee, and I'm a mechanical engineer and industrial designer, and I work here at IDEO as a product designer. So let me show you around. The greatest thing about being an engineer is that you're not limited to one thing. It's however you translate it to be. If you have other interests in any sport, dogs, acting, whatever it is, all those experiences will actually help out in your workplace, and it makes you a whole person. Everybody's creative in their own way.
Today we're going to be brainstorming different ways to carry a laptop computer. Sketch them out, hand them to me, and I'll put them up here.
We have several rules. They are deferred judgment,
What if the laptop was actually a bag?
build on the ideas of others, something that mounts to your waist, be visual, encourage wild ideas,
Inflatable ball, and you just shove your laptop into it, and then you just dribble your laptop down the street.
and go for quantity. So there is definitely some method to the madness here. I'm gonna do this one. Peter, you wanna work with me on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we just finished the brainstorm, we're gonna head into the shop, and this is where the things actually come to life.
I guess originally we were thinking it could go there, but you see with this women's frame, it's not going to work. So, you know, it could come back here with the rack.
The best thing about prototyping is it's never just one person's idea. You have a team of other people coming together and thinking about the ideas a little bit more.
One more here.
To give it a shot. I really enjoy this creative process. It's fun. It doesn't feel like work.
That's not bad.
So this is gonna be the true test right here. So please work. There we go. So now that's our bike. Good job, guys. It's good to have a job that you love coming to and that you enjoy every day. That to me is the ideal place to be.
So that's a pretty cool job. But let me ask you guys this. You saw that they were going through so many different ideas. Whoop, let me stop it right there, sorry. You saw that they were going through so many different ideas on different ways that you could actually carry a laptop. And I want to know, does anyone else have a different idea that they would have put up on the wall? Anybody else have a different idea on how they would have say, oh, what's a new way that we could carry a laptop? Like one suggestion was to put it in a basketball and then you could dribble it around town. Yes, sir. What's your idea?
I was thinking that maybe it could float.
The laptop could float. So like as I'm just walking, it could just be right here beside me floating. Love that idea. Make that happen somehow. I don't know how yet. Yes, ma'am. Your idea.
Have it in your shirt.
Have it in the shirt. Oh, a pocket that zips up. Yeah, I think there's actually a vest called Scotty Vest that actually does something similar to that. Yes, ma'am. What's your idea?
You could put it on wheels.
Put it on wheels. And so like how would I, but how am I?
Some type of like leash behind you or something.
And just kind of roll it along. All right, I get it. See, this is what brainstorming, prototyping, coming up with dreams and ideas is all about. And I wanted you to see the process that she goes through because that's exactly what it's like working for companies and building your own company, collaborating, coming up with great ideas to make some big change, make some big difference. So now I want to go over a little bit for all my sports fans. Do we have basketball players, soccer players, any sports fanatics, gymnastics, anything, volleyball? If you're into sports, I just want you to take a quick glimpse for a second here at how much science is actually happening in sports. Because you may not know some of the things that are going on. Like, for example, this football dome right here was inspired by NASA space walking suits. Or the titanium face helmets, lighter but stronger, but also have heat reflective material inside of them to keep the player to stay cooler instead of heat. And here's my big question for you. How many of you know the company Under Armour? All right, cool. How many of you think Under Armour is a sports apparel company or is a material science company? Is it a material science company or a sports apparel company? Under Armour. What would you say? You gonna take a guess?
I would say it's both.
Oh, you win a prize. Come up here. He said, I would say it's both. I love that because you're absolutely right. It is both. Can you tell everyone what you know about what the Under Armour shirts do?
Well, some of the Under Armour shirts kind of keep it insulated. You insulate it so if it's hot outside, it keeps you cool, and if it's cold outside, it keeps you warm.
That's exactly the premise of it. Thank you, young man. This came about, Under Armour came about from Kevin Plank, who's a football player at the University of Maryland. He would go into the locker room. Their T-shirts would be dripping with sweat. They would wring out their T-shirts after being on the field. And he said there has to be something better. And he starts playing around with materials in his mom's basement. And the next thing you know, they come up with this great brand, but really material science, taking different materials and looking at them and thinking about them in a different way to help athletic performance. And so now I want to show you something that's actually pretty neat and new. Pretty neat. Okay, pretty neat and new that's happening. I'm going to show you their smart shirt in just a second. But one of the things that's also happening in sports, the Olympics are coming up. Lots of technology are going to be involved in London's Olympics. This right here is actually showing you a piece of technology that assists ice skaters. Because one of the major problems when you're in ice skating competition at the highest levels is that you can cut right on the back of your leg, right here, with the blade of the actual skate. And so what they had to do is the U.S. team said, we need something that can protect our skaters, but it can't be heavy because that'll keep us down and that'll slow us down, and we don't want that. It has to be something that's flexible because we need to be able to bend, and it has to be something that's extremely lightweight but super durable that a knife cannot get through it. So they created this, they really looked at these different materials and ended up with this, which is phenomenal. It's so strong now that you're finding chefs in kitchens across the country using the same material so they don't cut themselves. You're finding fishermen now using these types of gloves so they don't cut themselves. So very interesting how a piece of technology goes from a really specific need in sports and then finds its way over into other areas in life that are really impactful. Now, I want to take you on a real quick time journey on something that's really, really neat that we actually have with us here. And for all of you that struggle at playing basketball like me, I want you to take a real close look at this video and watch a particular individual inside of this video. And let's see if we can uncover what he's actually doing. Point him out for you. He's this guy way in the back. Right there. Watch that guy. Keep your eyes on him. He's going to grab the ball, shoots like a 50-foot jumper, goes in. Now he's going to steal the ball, go behind the back, and then he dunks it. Now, you may be saying, that guy did not look like he was 6'8" doing that stuff. He looked like he was maybe 5'5". So I want you to take a look at how technology finds its way into the most unique and interesting things in our lives. Check this video out. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a time travel from old mainframe computers. We advanced from mainframe computers to more desktop computers, computers at our desk, smaller. We go from computers at our desk really starting to then evolve into, say, a laptop. They then go from a laptop and evolve into tablets and touchscreens. But we take this technology today, and a company like Adidas says we want to take a sensor and technology and embed it in the bottom of a tennis shoe. And this actual tennis shoe really exists. And what you find in this shoe, it's considered It's considered the most intelligent tennis shoe that was made. Some of you may be aware of Nike and their connection with the iPod, but this is different than what that particular shoe does. This is actually technology that's inside the shoe. You can actually see it. I'll let you pass the shoe around so that you can actually see. You can see the sensors. You can see some of the cabling. You can see some of the infrastructure inside the shoe. But at its heart, what it does is it's supposed to be able to detect the surface that you're on and adjust depending on that surface. So if you're jogging on concrete, it will recognize this is concrete and it will adjust for that. Or if you're playing on a hardwood floor, it can adjust for that. Who can tell me what's the biggest injury that takes place to basketball athletes? What's the most common injury? Yes, ma'am.
Broken legs and broken ankles.
Yes, you got it. Absolutely. Do we have another light? I got to get you a light bulb. We need a Toshiba light bulb. We need a Toshiba light bulb. Sarah, can you find me a light bulb for her? Okay, cool. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Twisting their ankle consistently. So in the high top version, this also has some other things that adjust for that as well. The point I'm making is that there were engineers that actually worked on this particular shoe that work at Adidas. A sports apparel company has engineers that are thinking about athletic performance and problems and issues and how to solve those. So just because you hear someone say, oh, you don't want to be an engineer, that's not cool. No, there are really, really exciting, cool jobs. And what I'm trying to show you is the large scope and the large range of all of these different jobs. Okay, now, I want to show you really quickly this Under Armour Smart shirt. I'll only let you see like maybe 45 seconds of this
Under
video.
Armour are all about making athletes better. So we're trying to solve problems that the athlete's having, whether it's just keeping them cool, light, and dry like our first shirts did. And so what this shirt allows them to do is actually understand what's going on inside their body while they're training.
So instead of having somebody in an environmental chamber on a treadmill with wires, ECG, EKG, all of that stuff dangling off them, we have those tools now on the athlete.
You're able to take the data from your workout session, no matter how informal it is, and you can look at it and you can make yourself better from it. You can make improvements from it. You can get a sense of what you're doing right and wrong during those training sessions. So what the Bug is it's basically an onboard computer, hard drive, processor that plugs right into the shirt. When it plugs in, it's automatically getting your biometric data.
Heart rate, breathing rate, skin surface temperature, and accelerometry in 3 different directions.
It's processing these signals that it's getting, and it's sending them right out to our computers wirelessly. It's also storing all this data on its internal hard drive.
So that's pretty impressive in terms of where technology is going. And what I'm just trying to show you here is how far it's going and what are some of the really cool things that you could be a part of that you could actually develop and create yourself. I want to skip over a couple of things here because I want to, in the essence of time, I want to get to my last few slides. Before I do, we have to do a quick contest for a second. I need to know who knows, and don't answer it out loud, just raise your hand if you think you know the answer, but you have to know both answers. How many sensors are in a Segway and what are they called? How many sensors are in a Segway and what are they called? All right. You were quick in the back. And then I'll try, and then this gentleman here was pretty much next. All right, let's try you. Okay. What's your name?
Elaine.
Elaine. Okay, how many sensors, Elaine?
5.
Okay, that sounds good so far. Now here's the thing though, I have to have both answers right. What's the name of the sensors that I said?
Gyroscopes.
Oh, she got it right. Come on down here, Elaine. Wait till you see this. Get over here. Come here. Elaine. Yes, way. Everybody say hi, Elaine. Hi, Elaine, say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Elaine is taking home her very own tablet. You're getting a Thrive 7-inch tablet from Toshiba for paying attention. Thank you. See what happens when you pay attention? See? This is good stuff. Thank you for coming and thank you for paying attention. Do you have a good use for this?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Are you tech savvy enough to use it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. What do you think you're going to do with it?
Write, surf.
What do you write? You write stuff? What do you write about?
Novels, plays, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. That's productivity for you right there then. So you'll be able to use software. There's a couple of apps that I should share with you for writing plays too. So stick around and I'll tell you about that. But nice to meet you. Congratulations. That's awesome. Okay, I want to get down to the home stretch because I want to really make sure that I hit a couple of last key points here. So I'm actually going to skim through a couple of things because I just want you to see this really cool. When you talk about how far can technology go, look at this vehicle for a second. This is based out of, I want to say Switzerland, but I could be wrong. But this is the world's first underwater car. It's called the Scuba. Yes, I know, right? You're looking at me like, no way. Watch this. Car goes into the water. Well, that was convertible. Obviously, they need oxygen, just as if you were scuba diving. But how do they keep the interior water resistant? How do they keep it so that it could still travel like a submarine? How do they build the jet engines? What do they do to make this car be able to go underwater? And it's going to come out. And it's going to take off. And that exists. That's not like a video that's made up of something. These are people that actually dreamed about an idea, created it, and then they went on ahead and actually developed it. So don't think that anything is not possible. Think out of the box. Think differently. Act differently. Now, after you dream and then you create, then you have to go and do stuff. So the next few slides, I just want to give you some ideas on how you can go. So if any of you are stuck or thinking about you have a great idea but don't know what the next steps are, how do I begin to take some action? I want to share with you a couple of ideas. Number one, has anyone heard of FIRST Robotics? FIRST? It's the program started by Dean Kamen, the creator of the Segway and other stuff. If you are into technology and you have a son, daughter, niece, nephew, or someone that you're taking care of, find out if you have a FIRST chapter. I know they have several of them in New York and New Jersey. Get them engaged in some type of after-school robotics program that really just gets them thinking and tinkering. In addition to that, I want you to make sure that you're entering your students into something called Explore Vision. Now, for those of you that don't know, Explore Vision is from Toshiba, and they've worked together with the National Science Teachers Association to come together. It's their 20th year of really having phenomenal projects from students from K through 12, all grades, competing about an idea to solve a problem that could be real technology in the next 20 years. And they get scholarship opportunities for it. You get the chance to travel to DC. The program is substantial. They have all the teacher resources and everything you need. You only need a minimum of 2 students to engage in it. So go to exploravision.org, exploravision.org for that. This is actually one of the teams that I got 2 quick slides on one of the teams that really kind of like moved me. This was a team, I think they were based in New York. Last year we were here with them, and they created something called the Subway Smart System. Listen to this real quick. I'm probably not the best descriptor of this, but I'll try to do my best. The Subway Smart System was to harness wind energy that's happening in the subway. So what they had was like this, what looks like grass would be placed strategically throughout the subway system, and as the train would fly by, it would generate and capture that air and turn that into energy. And it was brilliant what they came up with. It's like, why is this not happening right now? So it's these types of ideas that teams come up with inside of Explore Vision that I just think are really, really phenomenal and great. The video that you saw with the young lady meeting and brainstorming about different ways to carry a laptop and maybe put it in a basketball and bounce it, all of those videos and other things like that are at engineeryourlife.org. It is a phenomenal website for all of you to visit, especially for women, because it really focuses on getting more girls and more women into science and tech. But I'm a dude, and I love watching all the videos on there, and others will as well. But engineeryourlife.org. And then one of the things that I really see that a lot of kids need are mentors. They need people that can help support them. So if you don't have that in your immediate area or in your immediate home, look online at something called mentornet.net. Mentornet.net. And hopefully you can kind of go through and maybe identify some mentors that can understand and cherish your ideas, your dreams, your visions, and help support you with that. For those of you that want to get into programming, but maybe you're a little worried about it or you think it's not for me, I want you to check out 2 pieces of software. They're both free. One is called Alice. The website is alice.org. I can see the lady in the back's writing it down. ALICE.org, alice.org. This is a website that actually helps you understand by clicking and dragging actual programming and programming language. So on one side of the screen, you're clicking and dragging and you're creating animations and you're creating a story and you're building your story. On the other side of the screen, you can actually see what the actual programming language would be needed in order to make those particular actions take place. So it's a very easy and a fun way to learn programming at a very, very early age. Another one is made by MIT called Scratch. Scratch.mit.edu is the website for that one. And Scratch is all about the same thing, creating stories, using animation, using technology to create that, but then you can share it. You can have friends remix it. They can re-engineer your designs, your animations, and it's a really cool collaborative thing that you can also share with others. So again, it's another way to get kids excited about programming without putting them in front of a computer and just saying, here's how you learn how to program. And the last thing I wanted to touch on is, if you have a great idea, but you don't have the money to move it forward, one of the things that you should start paying attention to is something called crowdfunding. It's happening a lot already. In fact, this watch that I'm wearing is something that I bought off of a website that's all about crowdfunding. And crowdfunding is the idea for you to have a vision, a project, an idea of something that you want to do for your community. It could be something that you're creating, like a product, or it could be something that you want to do. Maybe you want to have a program in your neighborhood that does some type of give back to your community. Or maybe you want to shoot an independent film, or maybe you want to create a new album. Whatever your idea is, if you need funding for that idea, you place yourself on one of these websites. I'll show the two of them in a second. And you place your compelling story on the site. Say, here's what I'm about, here's what I'm trying to do, here's why I need your donations, I need your help. And then people, you share it out. You share it on Facebook and Twitter, and you tell your friends, and you send it through email. And eventually, you'll see that people may support your idea, and then you give them rewards for supporting it. So for example, let me go to, this one right here. This Pebble watch. This is called a Pebble. It's an e-paper watch. This is actually a watch that will be able to talk to your iPhone or your Android device. So imagine this, you have your phone or you have your device, you have your Thrive in your back pocket, but you want to know what time it is. Maybe you're not wearing a watch, because many of us don't anymore, or maybe you just want to know what the weather is. Well, should you have to whip out the tablet to get that information, or should you be able to just look at your watch and be able to get the information from your device in a display that's right there on the watch? Makes a lot more sense to be able to interface with my device through the display on my watch. Well, that's what these guys came up with. And they wanted to raise, initially they wanted to raise only $100,000. They wanted to build a prototype and a little bit more so that they could actually prove that this would work. Then they would get some investment money. Then they would actually manufacture and distribute it and sell it. But look at what happened. They only wanted $100,000. Do you guys see how much money they've raised? $5,133,000 is what this project raised. Now, the reason that happened is because when you go to this particular site, this one's called Kickstarter. For those of you looking for a site like this, it's called Kickstarter. The other one's called Indiegogo. But the idea is that they have this concept. They're going to give you certain levels of rewards based upon your donation. So if you gave them $200, you were going to get 2 of these watches and a couple of other things. So you get rewards based on your level of donation. So what this says is, we already have thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that want this product. So they already have a built-in base of people that want this Android watch or this iPhone watch. And so I just want to share this with you because you are in an exciting time right now where whatever you can dream up, you actually have the access to the tools and the people to start to create. But then you get that big roadblock of not getting any money to move your idea forward. Now that's even being removed by crowdfunding. If people really like your idea and you're passionate about it, you can be compelling about it, they may fund your idea. And what a lot of you should be thinking about is just getting enough funding to develop your prototype. And then from there, you can look at getting additional funding on top of that. So when I talk about dream, create, and go, this really to me is the go part of it. You did all the dreaming, you did all the creation, but how do you move it forward? This is part of how you do it. As we close up, one of the things I wanted to leave you with is this saying right here. The idea of being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Just think about that for a second. Like, you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I'm not talking about like physically uncomfortable. I mean, like, you need to try new things that have you so scared, that have you so nervous that you don't want to do those things. But if you decide to do that and you decide to step into that uncomfortable zone, that's where you actually learn. That's where you actually build, and that's where you actually grow. So I want you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Last but not least, I want parents, caregivers, I want aunts, uncles, teachers, big brothers, little sisters. I want you guys to be supportive of your kids' dreams, their ideas. Many of you may not have had the same technology exposure as the kids that have today, so some of it may be a little bit of a gap there in terms of understanding what they see, what they want to create, what they want to invent. But help them tie their passion into technology, and we will find many more kids that are interested in technology. So I say there's no time to walk up and down the corporate ladder. It's too slow. Our kids today, they don't think about a corporate ladder one step at a time. I'm not going to rub any elbows wrong. I'm just going to go through the process correctly. No, we need kids today to be trampolining to their dreams. So we're going to bypass the ladders. The ladders are old. The ladders are dated. The ladders are unnecessary. We need to now bounce our ideas as big as we can bounce. And the only way you can do that is to share your ideas with others. So please, on Earth Day, right here in Grand Central Station, I want you guys to do something with me. I want you guys to actually read a set of words with me. Hold on, let me get it there. Okay, there it is. Because the biggest thing that can slow you guys down at the end of the day are something that I call dream killers. Dream killers are those people that tell you no, that you can't, your idea is impossible. We're gonna go over here and do this thing that could get you in trouble versus doing something that you really should be doing. Those are dream killers. And unfortunately, we even have dream killers in our homes, in our families, and we may not know that we're dream killing someone else's idea. So just think about that for a second. The next time someone comes to you with a thought or an idea or something they want to do, don't knock them down. Help support them. Help not be a dream. Don't be a dream killer yourself. You don't want people dream killing on you, so why do you dream kill on others? We don't want to do that. So all the young minds, avoid the dream killers. Get away from them, leave them to the curb. They're bad baggage, they're negative energy, and they will slow you down, or worse. So we're gonna close out with this last slide. But I need you guys, for those of you that can read this, I want you to read this with me, because these are words that I need you to leave and to live by. But to leave here, I want you to leave on this statement. So I want you guys, for those of you that can read this, please read this with me, all right? I'm gonna give you the pace and you can follow along, and then we're gonna wrap up. So these are the words to live by. Say it with me though so you guys understand it. Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny. You guys have been an awesome audience. You guys have been fantastic. You stayed, you listened to this message. I really appreciate the time. I really want to say a special thanks to Toshiba for inviting me to come here and speak. And Mr. Fuji's right here. The chairman and CEO is here in the audience off of a plane. He probably has another 12-hour flight somewhere to get to soon. But he's here. They have the commitment of really wanting to spark the future of our innovators, and they're here to show that. If you need to get in touch with me, I'm on Twitter. If those of you want to follow on Twitter, I'll follow you back. I'm at Mario Armstrong on Twitter. I'm on Facebook and, of course, on the web. If you want any of these slides or other information that you saw that you didn't get access to, any way that I can help you. My job is to make you understand how technology can better your life, and I want to be that conduit for you. So if there's any way that I can help you or my team can help you, we're over here in the corner. The CEO, Nicole, is here, and some others are over here. We can help you out. I appreciate your time. I'm Mario Armstrong. That's a wrap for Dream, Create, Go. Thank you all so much for this time and for Earth Day. Check out the exhibits, hang around, and dream, create, go.